let me, ladies and gentlemen, with these hand gestures, I'm just going to say something, and something I want to explain to you, that I need to bring something up. It's very convenient, and I find it so interesting. You guys are using mental health in the United States medical licensing exam, okay? With these hand gestures and this nonsense. There's no such thing as mental health. It's not on the exam. They don't even talk about it in the EMT. Name a psychiatrist book. I have a psychiatrist book right here. I don't think Dr. Patch Adams or any of those people. This is geriatric. Geriatric nursing. Essentials of Psychiatry Nursing. This is another book. They don't even talk about it. What are you talking about? Mental health? There is no such thing. You're making up terms. This is the problem, and I'm saying to you with this, with the universities for a very long time. You just make up terms. You can't, when you're in medical school, you can't just make up terms. I had a professor named Professor Sharon O'Sullivan. She taught at Columbia University. She also taught at these other universities. And just like Nurse Martha Rogers wrote a thesis on the it's the U theory on family and how everything is related. All this stuff is connected. I just want to explain something to you. We've got issues with Dr. Phil McGraw, with Dr. Sharon O'Sullivan. Something related to this spell book that I have here. I have it, but I'm not going to go into depth. There's no such thing as mental health. Made up term. You can't just make up terms. Ladies and gentlemen, news outlet people, you need to with this calling card of the Joker, you need to do research and development. I'm going to just ask you, ladies and gentlemen, where did you guys go to university? I went to Nassau Community College. I went to SUNY Buffalo. I have not ever heard that term, mental health. In psychiatry and psychology, you can't label that as mental health outpatient care, any of that stuff. It's not allowed to be used. You can't even label a hospital a corporation because it's fraud under Department of Health, and it's fraud under the Articles of Corporation. Valerie and I, our relatives, are nurses, doctors, and medical professionals like EMTs, phlebotomists, etc. I don't think Dr. Phil understands. There is no such thing. Where's the thesis statement? Where's the theory? You have to, and not only that, it has to be on the United States medical licensing exam or the nursing licensing exam as well. It would have to be. I don't think there. Where is the proof? Show me the proof of where it is. This is what my Dr. O'Sullivan and some of my other professors, like Dr. Stephen, I think his name is Solari, one of my other professors that was an accountant who got me in to become a certified managerial accountant. I studied and got licensed, and it was like 3 to 4 plus parts to take that exam. So you need to show proof. Where's the proof? How did you get this word? Is it explained in a medical book? Is explained in Barron or a medical dictionary? What is does a psychiatrist define, what is the psychiatrist or psychologist or neurologist define as mental health? What is mental health? You can use mental, but what does mental health mean? You can't just make up terms. It's so funny to me that the news outlet, for a very long time, ladies and gentlemen, since I was a child in the 90s, you guys like to just make up terms. This is the problem with university and college. See, this is something I appreciate with Elon Musk and his mother and his mother's relatives that explained to me when I was a kid and teenager and adult. And to Margaret and Elizabeth and those people. You can't make up terms. You need to just, news outlets need to state facts. You can't state opinions. Fox News, you're stating opinions. You know what the problem is? I don't like Fox News. I don't like CBS or any of those things. Is because for a very long time, people like Joe Rogan or many of these people that started podcasts, or they were a DJ or a radio host person, they were pushed to the side. You really, to the I'm registered as a Republican, but I'm not a Republican. I'm just a human being. I'm just as they say, what do you call a tax-paying citizen, or I'm not a tax-paying citizen. What am I? You can't, ladies and gentlemen. When I built some of this stuff with Valerie and I when we were teenagers, we got the short end of the stick. We didn't get helped. And Valerie would say this to me, who's Andrew Tate's relative. Stop saying failed society, civil war, or nonsense. You know, John Zerka and I don't appreciate any of that stuff anymore. We don't find any of that stuff funny. It's not a funny material. It's not funny materials that what a lot of us went through. You know, you might as well label this mental health a form of nationalism. It's a form of brainwashing. Our society for a very long time, ladies and gentlemen, if you do not follow what Yahweh or Elohim is explaining to you in these books, I'm going to say this, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to put on this yarmulke with respect, because I had a good friend of mine, Dr. Matthew Goldberg, who was a neurologist at Newmick. This is why I will not ever go to that hospital again, because what I went through pain and suffering, because I met a guy named Mr. Gleitman, and his relatives were good people, and he fought for people with estate planning and abuse and things like that. So out of respect, I'm going to put this white yarmulke on out of respect, and to Charlie Kirk and these people. I sit here and I'm just going to state this. I just want to say something. The reason why I'm saying the word coward for Joshua is because it's not to shame him in any way. But Joshua Christ is here, ladies and gentlemen. Joshua Christ's relatives are here. They're in my family. All versions of his things, of what he fought on the cross. Not just Joshua, it's John the Baptist. It's people like Enoch and Elijah. It's all my friends and all my relatives. We all have a version of what Joshua did by sacrificing himself on the cross. Even Elijah and Ezekiel, they all had to go through forms of pain and suffering. But ladies and gentlemen, when I see with this yarmulke here, with respect, Lord God, Yahweh, and Elohim, and Adonai, Shaddai, those people sacrifice things. And I'm saying this with respect. You're casting, I'm going to say this, you're casting shame and you're casting disrespect to his dad. because his dad went through pain and suffering more than more than Joshua did on the cross. You have no idea what he went through. What my grandfather's relatives or grandmother's relatives went through besides what Joshua went through. And it's an insultment. That's why I converted to Judaism with Mark Rubenstein and Dr. Matt Goldberg, who was a neurologist, because he believed in things of principles of both sides. Not just one side, both sides. And in Christianity, you guys practice paganism. It's in the books. In the cipher, it's not in that book, but in the King James Version, it's all paganism. In the NIV books, it's not paganism. You need to follow the natural rules of what God founded. The first commandment, ladies and gentlemen, is very, very important. It's honoring Yahweh and Elohim's sacrifices. You have to understand, Yahweh and Elohim, God, the God, which is the act, he went through a version of what you call Prophet Noah. He went through a version of that. He was a crime fighter. He was a hero. That's what I have to explain to a lot of people out there. That's what God did. He was a crime fighter. He was a superhero, like Superman. Like that guy El, like Superman. That's what Elohim and Yahweh are. They were superheroes. And they fought against things that have to do with spells. This is why I have this book. Because I respect this woman. Because she explained to me, John, there are things like grimoires and things related to that are artifacts that I found out in Salem. In Salem, there is places that explain all of this stuff in school. And Sleepy Hollow in New York. They explain stuff like this with the witchcraft and dark arts and how you stay away from that stuff. That's something that Dr. Phil McGraw and some of these people, even Matt Perry, explains. Because it's all correlated with each other, everybody. It's all correlated. And that's something I want to explain to you. Joshua Christ is here. He's not abandoned you. It's just the problem is Joshua has things that belong to him. And for a very long time, I've been stuck in the middle. I've been stuck between two sides of my family or relatives. And I'm trying to do the very best to not get involved with a bicker-backer match that's been going on for a very long time. And what am I to do? You can't blame people when you have to solve your own problems. And that's what I did. I tried solving my own problems. But sometimes in life, when God puts you in an area for a reason. And some of us, all of us, have been at that point where we don't know what to do. Well, you know what you need to do? You need to pray. You need to spend time in temple, in church, in the mosque. Allah, ladies and gentlemen, it's not Allah. It's Elohim. In the original Quran, it used Elohim. It did not use Allah. That's the name. Wasn't Prophet Moses. It was another person. That's what I did research and development in. The subjects related to that matter. When I was doing studying at Princeton University with being an archaeologist, doing library science, things related to that nature. So this is the last video I'm going to do for tonight. So take care, guys. Have a pleasant and wonderful day. I'll be praying for a lot of you guys out there. Thank you.